Hello friends, welcome back. And in this lecture, we are going to see how many types of missing values are there and how we can understand them. Like the first one is like MCAR, which is known as completely missing at random. So these values are those missing values which are missing at random and there is no set pattern. I mean, you cannot identify a set pattern. You cannot find any pattern that if this particular variable is missing, then the other variable will also be missing. Or you cannot find a kind of pattern where you find like if the value of a certain column is beyond certain value, then only the value in this column will be missing. So there will be no relationship between two or more columns when the data is missing in one of the columns. You will find it very random when the data is missing, right? For example, you can see ID, gender, age, all these are the data which are available here. But here it's like on the third row, the age is missing, and on the fourth row, the gender is missing. Okay, so you can see the missing values occur randomly and are totally unrelated to any variable. Age 3 is missing, but there is no pattern or relationship with the other variable like ID or the gender. You cannot take an inference from here that only the females are hiding their age or the males are hiding their age. You cannot find a set pattern, right? There is no relation you can find among the different kind of features. Okay, so where the values are randomly missing, then that is known as missing completely at random. Then comes the missing at random. Okay, so missing at random, the values are missing, but they are dependent on some observed variable. I hope you have seen my previous video on the observed versus the unobserved variables. So in case of missing at random, the values are missing, but the value which is missing is dependent on some other observed variable, not dependent on any unobserved variable. It is dependent on some observed variable, which means you can find a certain pattern when some data is missing. Like you can find that yes, if the value in this column is missing, then only the value in the other column is missing. If the value in a particular column is below a certain threshold, then only the value in the other column is missing. Some kind of pattern you will be able to identify. And that pattern will be basically indicating some kind of observed variables only, not the unobserved or the latent variables. They will not be dependent on them. Okay, it will all dependent on the observed variable. Okay, for example, here you can see the data is missing for the second row and the fourth row. In the second row, the income is missing, and in the fourth row, the age is missing, right? So I have given you the example, but in this example, we are just giving you a reference that how you will understand it. Okay, so here we can, this is very small data, but I'm just assume that you have a big data. You have a big amount of data, huge data, right? In that case, what you can see, like income 2, the second row income is missing, but its missingness might depend on the age. Like it may be that those who are younger, they are hiding their income, right? I mean, those who are below the, below the age of 40, between 30 to 30, between 30 to 40, they are hiding their income, right? It may be. So this is just an example that you can find a pattern basically. I'm just giving you an example. This is very small sample, so this not be making sense whatever I'm saying. But yeah, the concept is the same, that you will be able to find a pattern. So just assume that you are able to find a pattern here, that those who are between the age of 31 to 40, they are hiding their income. Similarly, those who are earning beyond, 35,000 or beyond 40,000 or higher, they are tending to hide their age. Not everyone, but yes, there is a pattern where you can see that only the age for them is missing. If it is missing, then it is only missing for them who are earning 40,000 or more than 40,000, right? So here you can see a relationship between the observed variables when the data is missing in one of the columns or in more columns, right? For more features, if the data is missing, then you are able to see it. So now come to the last one, missing not at random, right? It is not missing at random, but it is depending on some underlying factor, right? Which is not recorded here. It may be, it has not been recorded here. Like here we have seen like ID, age, and depression. So we are recording this data, ID, age, and depression. Age and depression basically we are recording here. And someone might be hiding their depression state, but it may not be that any person having a certain age is hiding its depression, hiding his depression, right? So it may be that the reason for hiding his depression is related to something else. It may be a social trauma, a fear of social trauma, right? So here you can see, like in this case, the missing values, depression 2 and age for 4, right? Depending upon the unobserved variables like the severity of depression, right? Here you can see the missing value, depression is equal to 2 is missing. For the second row, depression is missing. Okay. So for the second, depression is missing, but its missingness might depend on the severity of depression, which is an unobserved variable here. We have collected depression, but we have not collected the severity of the depression. Stigma or social anxiety, we have not collected, and maybe the people are not willing to share this information, right? That because of the social anxiety or the stigma, they just don't want to reveal it, right? So all these are the unobserved variables. Now comes the age. For the age 4, for the ID 4, the age is missing, but the depression state has been captured, that yes, he is depressed, right? So age for 4 is missing, but its missingness might depend upon the life event or traumas, right? Mental health history, maybe because of that only, right? So there are various factors which have not been recorded, and because of those unrecorded factors, if you see that data could be missing because of those unobserved factors or the latent factors that you have not collected, then in that case, such kind of missingness is captured under this missing not at random, right? How we deal with them, that we will discuss in the next video. So be with me, and we are going to discuss that how we can deal it in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice